See them flood in. Thank you for that, Sawyer, because I always forget. I appreciate it. So nice to see everyone here today. We're going to have a nice big group joining us for this session. Thank you for being here, everyone. A few more people coming in from the waiting room, and then we'll get started. I love looking at all the faces and people that I know on the screen. Thanks for being here, everyone. Okay. Well, I'm Joy Brand Richardson. I'd like to thank you all for being here today. I am the Vice President of Professional Development at JCC Association, and I use the pronouns she, her, and I have shoulder-length brown hair and glasses, and today it's a beautiful day in Delaware. I'm joined by my colleague Sawyer Schwartz, and I see a few of our colleagues in the Development Department at JCC Association on the call with us as well. We'd like to start our community gatherings with the understanding that there may be people who are new to their role and those who have many years of experience, and each of us brings wisdom to every conversation that we have. We ask you to stay on mute when we're in the large groups, and then please do participate by unmuting yourself when you are in the breakout room. There may be information that's presented that feels commonplace to some people, and some bring wisdom to the conversation, and others, this is brand new. And we ask everyone to participate and respect others and define terms, ask for ideas and concepts. And we'd like to invite everyone to ask for clarity. Alana is your peer community volunteer leader. Alana McGilpin is the Chief Development Officer at the West Hartford JCC, and I would like to thank her for stepping up into this role as volunteer chairperson for the peer community. And at this time, I'd like Alana to unmute and tell us what our session is all about.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here. I only volunteered for this role because I find so much value in the network and learning from so many people and making connections. So that's why I wanted to volunteer. So I'm really looking forward to the conversation today. Joy told me that there were 108 people registered for today's call, which was like the highest number registered ever or something like that. So we have 69 people, so I'll take it. It's pretty good. So thank you guys. Yeah, so we have two topics today based on people's interest and really the comments on the list, which is really cool. So thank you. We are going to do like donor levels and gifts with benefits, and then also talk about annual galas and events. So I think for me, one of the things that we struggle with, or that I've been struggling with, I'm in this role for just about a year and a half, is that we have this like historical practice of giving benefits to our donors when they make gifts at certain levels. And sometimes I think that's really nice. And sometimes I think like, why did we ever agree to do that? And some of the values of the benefits keep going up and up and up, and that kind of devalues the gift a little bit. But a lot of people like the benefits and use the benefits, and some other people don't at all. And then you get into the issue when people make their gift with a donor advised fund or IRAs, and they can't get the benefits, but they want the benefits. So if you nerd out on issues like that and you have no one else at your JCC to talk to about it, I'm your person. So that's kind of what I am interested in sharing today. And just to show you what a little bit of our benefit sheet looks like, I'm going to just share my screen real quick, and then I'm going to introduce a couple other people. So this is what our donor sheet looks like. And you can get like, it starts off on the lower levels up here, and then it goes like up and up, and it's like confusing to me. And then we have higher levels that go from 10,000 to 25,000 annually, and they get like everything. So that's just a little bit where I am. I want to thank Ray Williams, who's also was interested in talking about this topic today, or just to present a little bit of information where her JCC is. So Ray, do you want to unmute?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I am calling from Jewish for Good, which represents the Jewish Federation of Durham and Chapel Hill and surrounding communities in the great state of North Carolina. I'll share my screen briefly. Hopefully you're seeing our Giving for Good screen. Can I get a thumbs up that that's what you're seeing? Great. So we historically have really just had 3 levels of leadership giving. So this is specifically for our annual giving. We take gifts in all shapes and sizes. There's no minimum gift, but our sort of lowest level leadership giving starts at an annual gift of $1,800 a year. Our 3 levels, we build around the concept of growth. So you see this visual in the corner. We have our 3 different sort of evolving and more robust tree images. We use this imagery a lot on like name tags at special events. We have gold foil versions of these 3 different trees that we feature on people's name tags to build a sense of FOMO, for folks who belong in those different leadership levels. And then we really focus on the language of our 3 leadership levels being sort of action oriented, built around verbs. So we have our forgers, our pavers, and our leaders. And for each of these levels, our sort of benefits really focus around specific communications that you receive from leadership, different sort of touch points during the year that are special events and exclusive access to different like networking and community building components. And then for our leading the way group, our top tier givers in particular, we have an event that we host each fall that we ask one of the community members who's in the Leading the Way group to open their home. It's a home housed intimate dinner event. We provide all of the catering, all of the everything. They really are just the home. But we invite all of our Leading the Way donors to that dinner, and there's no real agenda other than to thank them for their past support and to invite them to kickstart our annual campaign sort of as our soft launch, even before we officially launch our new annual campaign for the next year. And that dinner, I've been here for almost a year. That dinner is hands down, to me, the most beautiful and just sort of organically magical representation of what our supporting community looks like. So I highly recommend for anyone who is interested in leadership giving, keeping that top tier, whatever it is for you, as an opportunity to bring that group together in an exclusive, intimate environment with your organization's leadership, as a way to really celebrate them, because that is what brings our Leading the Way donors back year after year and keeps them increasing in their gift. That's all. I'm going to stop sharing my screen if I can figure out how. Sorry.
That's awesome. Thank you, Ray. I love the tree imagery and the verbiage. So thank you. Okay, so this actually came off the listserv about the annual gala question, and I think Natalie was the first person to pose it. So I asked her to share what she's doing just to start off this part of the conversation.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Natalie Fabi Bias. I am the Director of Development at the Evelyn Rubenstein JCC in Houston. So I'm going to share a very simple presentation. The visuals are not my strong suit, but it gets the information across. And I am not going to do presentation mode so that I can still keep an eye on the Zoom. So we had our annual Children's Scholarship Ball just about a week and a half ago. It was Saturday, March 1st. Just to give you some context, this is our 35th annual Children's Scholarship Ball. This is the only gala that we do. So we do not have a general gala. It's very specific to raising funds for children's scholarships, primarily at our early childhood education schools. Actually, we have two, and also for J camps. We this year netted about almost $500,000 for scholarships. That was net. We raised almost $650,000 and the cost was about $150,000. And I'm happy to get into that more if it's helpful. And we had about 500 attendees at the Royal Sonesta Hotel, which is a nice hotel in downtown Houston. Just to give you the main questions on the listserv were about the program, so I'm going to mostly get into that next, but just to give you an insight into what the schedule was for the evening, we started at 7 p.m. a cocktail reception with light bites. I'm sure you all have run into the struggle about what do you do when you want to serve food, and it's right after Shabbat, so that's why, hence the timing, and some cold appetizers to start. This year we did dinner stations. So we actually had 4 different stations, and it was buffet style as opposed to plated. Those stations opened at 8 o'clock for people to begin eating. Our seated program began at 9 o'clock. We very ambitiously said that that was only going to go for 30 minutes. And I think we were about on schedule. Dessert was served at 9:30. Our auction closed at 10. And we wrapped up around 10:30. So the program itself, I have provided a brief outline of what we did. I'm timing myself. I have a minute and a half, so I will briefly read it. We did an introduction video to welcome everyone. Then the honorees, our honorees for this year, have 3 very talented young adult children who all can sing in 4 different languages. So they all sang It's a Small World in 4 different languages, which was our theme. Our theme was It's a Small World at the J. So that was what we did this year. Our ball chairs, we had 2 did a welcome. There was a moment of silence in there as well, which I thought was tastefully done. A tribute video, which was a little bit different this year. It was pretty funny. We had sort of a draft, a faux draft, as if our honorary chairs were being drafted by all the different Jewish organizations around town where they volunteer. The honorary chairs presented their award to the honorees. I have 30 seconds, so I will just highlight one thing, which is we included, this was our 2nd year when we did a paddles up. For anyone who doesn't know what that is, it's literally just asking for more money during the event. You say paddles up for $1,800, you can fund X, who will do paddles up. And we raised last year we raised about $40,000 in 10 minutes. This year we raised about $58,000 in 10 minutes. So if anyone's doing a gala and you're not doing paddles up, I would say definitely consider it. I have 5 seconds, so I will end here, but I'm going to join the other group for discussion. But if anyone has questions or wants to talk more, please feel free to reach out to me. I also have been in this role for about 1.5 years, and I've really appreciated this network, and a lot of you have been very generous in sharing. So if any of you have questions and want to talk more, feel free to reach out.
Thank you. Someone from the chat asked Natalie, what is the demographic for your event?
In terms of who attends, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Yeah, I would say it's mostly people from the Jewish community who have been. This year we saw a little bit of a shift. So a lot of people, we're very, very fortunate here in Houston, and I'm curious how true this is in another place, where we have multi-generational involvement from families who've been involved for a very long time, continue to be involved. So we are fortunate to still have a lot of the long-time attendees attending. We're starting to also see some of the younger people around my age attending, and there was more of that this year. Does that answer your question?
Great, thank you.
Yes, I think I was curious just with the timing from 7 to 10. Sorry, this is Nicola. About the age, sort of also the age, like our donor base tends to skew older. And so I'm just curious if that's what you're getting for Children's Ball, if you're tending to get more parents of children.
It's a mix, but we definitely have attendees in their 70s. There's a pretty strong cohort and then more people coming in under that age as well.
Cool. Okay, awesome. Thank you. All right, next up is Emily Jilson, who's going to share about her annual event.
Yeah, I'm gonna share my screen also. Can everyone see? Thumbs up. I am not timing myself. I cannot do two things like that at once, but you guys can feel free to flag me. I'm gonna go pretty quickly because there's a couple of like headlines and highlights I want to get to at the end. We have an annual spring. Up until last year, we called it a gala. They're like, it's not a gala, it's a celebration. So an annual spring celebration every year in May. It's our largest fundraiser of the year. It raises between 500 and 600 gross. I've been able to keep the expenses at about 100,000. We top off at 300 people. It's the capacity of our theater. And this year will be my 12th gala. I only mentioned 12th gala at the J. I only mention that because I do feel like I've tried it all. And what I'm going to show you is sort of what's been most successful for us. Our event leadership is probably the most important piece and certainly the biggest component of like a successful fundraiser for us. We have an annual award recipient. We present an outstanding leadership award named for a founder. And they're sort of the biggest ask to them is like, bring your friends, bring your family, right? And like whatever they can deliver is sort of the difference, the delta between like a good event and an amazing event, right? Like a $500,000 event or like a $650,000 event. We also try to engage chairs. What I've always sort of, when someone asks me like, what is the role of a chair? I have two answers. One is like purely name recognition. Like if I can just put your name on the invitation, that'll help me put butts in seats and raise some money. That's a great gift that you can give to us. The other piece that chairs do for us is they're sort of the conduit, the askers between the honoree and that list that they provided us, right? So it's weird for me to be like, not weird, but people often feel uncomfortable being like, I'm getting honored. Will you give money in my honor? Versus someone saying like, I'm chairing an event that our friend Emily is being honored in. Would you consider joining me in making a gift? Like that's a really great role for a chair. Yeah, we have most of our money comes from event sponsorships. We sell individual tickets. And then we also cannot move away from the printed tribute program. People love it. People give to it. I've tried to move it to digital. It just like doesn't mean as much to people or to the honoree. We raise about $30,000 there as well. And honestly, it's a pretty significant return on that investment. It's a huge lift, but highly recommend. The program piece, our doors open at about 6:30. We have a short cocktail hour in our lobby and then try to get people into our theater by 7:15. We cannot seem to cut our program below 45 minutes. Like I said here, we do as few speeches as possible, which for us is like 5 to 6 speeches. And then we usually do some sort of performance or reading. I'm able to call on my colleagues who work in our film, music, and theater program and say like, who can we get in the door? I benefit from those relationships. So that's like a great way to partner with my colleagues. And then we do videos as well. In the past, we've done sort of like a tribute video. So instead of like one person coming on stage to say amazing things about the honoree, we sort of do a call to the friends and family and colleagues of that person, and we'll get a video produced. And it's usually like funnier and lighter than one person coming to the stage and talking about someone for 3 minutes. And then occasionally we've done like a day in the life at the J, or a day in the life of our social responsibility department, or if, one of our programs is celebrating a special anniversary, we'll take the opportunity to highlight it at the gala. Last thing, I think that like this, at least our model comes with some like really great challenges. Well, they're not really great, some challenges and some really great opportunities. I think a little bit of like what Natalie was talking about in terms of like the demographic. We have a really hard time getting younger people to come to this event. And I've sort of like thrown my hands up and been like, you know what? We raised over $500,000 from our older donors who love to come together. And like, maybe that's okay. And maybe we do another event for the 20s, 30s, 40s, right? Because like the mandate every year is like younger. And like, they just don't want to come. And that's okay. And, you know, people say to me, well, maybe do discount tickets. And I'm like, but I don't have to discount tickets in order to sell every ticket. And like for every ticket that I sell for $100, it's a ticket that I can't sell for $400. So I've sort of come to a place where like those are two different events and that's okay. The other thing that has been really great for us over the past couple of years is like more staff have come. This is a picture of all of my colleagues, or not all of them, but many of them. And like, it's become more of a place where like the staff want to come and celebrate and spend the night together than ever before. And that's a really, I think, lovely opportunity. The last thing is that I think that we have a hard time wrapping our heads around like celebrating the J, not in the J. Like we've done the event at venues outside of our four walls in the past, right? In addition to that being like a meaningful material expense, it's like, it's strange for us. People sort of like can't get there. I'm not saying it's wrong. It just, it doesn't like resonate as much with the community. And so that's put a lot of like constraints on like what we can do and capacity. And it's like sort of like, how do you weigh those things? And I don't know the answer, but that's like something we sort of ask ourselves every year. So I'll stop. But yeah, that's the gala at the DC JCC.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Emily. Emily, two questions for you. What is the ticket price to the event, and do staff get discounted tickets?
Staff come for free. A lot of staff will like help us out at the beginning, and then they're welcome to stay. Tickets to our event range from like $400. You can buy a single $400 ticket, and then we have sponsorships that go up to $20,000. And we've experimented with these like discount tickets before to preschool parents, young professionals, and like newcomers. And those are usually between like 100 and 200, depending on the community.
Cool. Okay. All right. Awesome. Okay. So I think we're going to do the breakout groups now. So again, the two options are the donor levels and gifts with benefits, or the annual galas. We're going to have multiple breakout rooms for each topic because there's now 78 people on the call. So we've gained a few people. And if there could be somebody in the group who could volunteer themselves as like the note taker, that would be great, because we're not able to record the breakout groups, but I know like other people want everybody's like information. So maybe if one person in each group could volunteer as the note taker, and then maybe email me like your notes afterwards, so we could kind of like compile everything from each of the breakout groups, and then we could send it back out to everybody. And is that it, Joy?
That sounds good. Sawyer's going to give you the option of which rooms you want to go in. If you see that there's more than 8 or 9 people in a room, pick another room so that we can have enough space. What you see on your screen, scroll down all the way to the bottom of the screen, and then you'll have the options of picking donor level room 1, donor level room 2, and you can just click on join and move into a room. And we'll see you in about 20 to 25 minutes. Thank you, Sawyer. Welcome back, everyone. We have another few moments while people are coming back, I see almost all of the rooms have closed. Okay. Alana, do you want to do a recap and ask people to tell us about their discussions?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I feel like we could have gone on for that like all day. But definitely to be continued. Yeah, so if anyone took notes from any of the groups, either topics, and just wanted to share like a special tidbit that you thought would be interesting to everyone, like please do so. Please unmute and just go for it.
Hey everybody, this is Natalie Baseman from the Mirage JCC. I was in donor level number 3 and it was a great conversation, and it was really helpful to hear that many of us are facing the same issues in terms of donor recognition versus perks and the tax implications and the increasing tax implications, and also for our Canadian JCCs, how they have different obligations, and then the added roadblock of CRMs and the limiting nature of being able to track all of this data. And so we really, I think the big takeaway was, if you don't have complicated donor perk systems, don't start them. and that any kind of tangible donor perks that you're giving away that have money are going to, that are cost anything, are going to cause issues. And so we talked a lot about recognition ideas and how leaning into that would be a much wiser, easier, painless choice. And so we talked about handwritten cards and executive thank you calls and thankathons and specific emails, and creating cards from community members of specific art related to your community, and related around holidays as well. And then there was also the idea is that if you are giving out perks with actual taxable implications, whether it's free tickets to things or mugs or whatever it is. I believe it was the Greater Boston JCC sends out quarterly letters to their donors saying, hey, you may have received these perks. Here's the fair market value. You figure it out. So that was very interesting. So thank you, everybody. Very helpful.
Awesome. Thank you, Natalie, and your group. Anyone else? No? Anyone else want to share something? Okay. Okay, so I guess if you were the note taker in your group and you felt like you had some good tidbits like Natalie shared and you want to email them to me, I'm happy to like send it out through the listserv just for people who were in different groups or who weren't able to participate today. I know a couple people emailed me. I just put my email address in the chat. If people want to just send me an email, I'm happy to share with everybody. And then also I'm happy to like talk to anybody about any area that like you have questions, and you know, connect people who might have the same questions if they reach out. We were already in our small group talking about like the younger donors and who's engaging them, how they're engaging them, what the feedback has been. So you know, that's certainly another topic. So yeah, just thank you. There's obviously so much to talk about, and there's certainly a lot of us, so it's a good match.
Thank you, Alana, for stepping up and for running this program, putting it together. Thank you to our presenters. They're available for you to reach out to them about more information. Their information was in the chat, I believe. And if not, then Ray, Natalie, and Emily, if you can put your email addresses in the chat, that would be good. I'd like to invite my colleague Sawyer to tell you about our scholarship program and how you can spread the word in your staff information.
Thank you, Joy. Hello, everyone. I'm Sawyer. I'm here on the talent team at JCC Association. Just wanted to let you know that JCC Association does have a scholarship program. So for any full-time JCC professionals, so if you're full-time and looking to grow professionally, whether through a postgraduate degree program or any certificate program that's related to your work, you can apply and receive up to $20,000 in scholarship through JCC Association. To be eligible, you do have to be full-time at least 1 year as of June 2025 and continue to work full-time as you receive the scholarship and go through your educational program. So if you have any to apply, you go on the JCC Resource Center page, which I'm about to put in the chat. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me, Sawyer Schwartz. And if you need any help logging into the JCC Resource Center, you reach out to database at jcca.org.
Thank you, Sawyer. It's a great program. I was a scholarship recipient many, many, many years ago. So spread the word because we have the money and it's great to elevate staff. Thank you all again. I will be at a regional conference on the West Coast next week. If anyone's there, please say hello. And let's start to plan for the JCC Continental Professional Conference, which will be held in October. Ilana, did you have any last minute words?
Just again, thanks to everybody. I was trying to remember the date that we made in June, but for the next.
It is June 10th is the next meeting, June 10th at 1 o'clock. You'll find that information in the community briefs that go out, and then you'll be able to register for that.
Cool.
All right. Well, have a wonderful rest of your day, everyone. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.